We are live and in effect. All right. All right, so this is my second YouTube dance practice live stream. I got a little baby powder just to make my feet a little smoother on the floor, because these are kind of like cross trainers slash running shoes, and it just helps your knee joints when you spin and pivot and stuff to have a little bit of frictionlessness. So I am not warmed up at all, so I am gonna warm up for about 10 minutes. So you might be deadly bored. Oh gosh, let me see. I think my camera needs to be just a little higher. Let me just fix that real quick. Quick like. Alright, let's see if that does the trick. Make it nice and even. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Cool. Alright, and I got some better lighting, so last time, oh shoot, it'd be nice if you could see my hands. Dang it. Oh, excuse my français. Let me, sorry, I'm gonna make this a little higher. Just like that. Okay. Let's see if that's better. Okay, that's good enough. Yeah. I rarely do these for dancing anyway. I rarely, never go this high. Unless I'm doing like a Michael Jackson. What does he do? Boom, 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 boom. Something like that. Okay, so yeah. Just gonna warm up. So I sit at my desk a lot, and I have a really comfortable chair. You know, one of those nice like Herman Miller type chairs. And the bad thing about that is it weakens your back muscles. And I was reading on the internet doing some research, and it said that one of the biggest predictors of back pain and back problems is a weak back. So when you sit with such good support on a chair for so many hours a day, the muscles of your back atrophy. And so I really enjoy this stretch right here. Now I got my mic here. Let me see if I can get my neck. The range of motion. Do some neck rolls. Now these neck rolls are actually really important for your boogaloo neck rolls. So when you do boogaloo, boom, boom, boom. This is a twist, boogaloo twisto flex. Boom. Now watch this. Boom, boom, boom. That would be a boogaloo style neck roll. So again, you step back again, lift your shoulders, rotate nice and clean so that it's straight, step out, and also move your neck, twist the bottom, and then the front, your arms go to the front. Now here you could just go if you want, but whenever I see somebody go boom, 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 boom. I like that better because the head gives a illusion of like, I don't know, funky robotness. Let's do that a couple more times. Step back, boom, hit, arms down, boom, hit. Lift your shoulders and set it. Slide out with your neck as well. Twist. Boom, head roll. Boom, neck roll, I mean. Boom, hit again. Alright. I'm going to do that about several more times. Boom, 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 boom. Alright. Now, as a general rule, what you do one way, you want to do the other way, just because you never know if you have to go that way. So we're going to go boom, hit, boom, hit. Place the other way. Neck, twist, roll, swivel, and step and hit. Alright, very good. Couple more times. This is a electric boogaloo style twistoflex, and it's pretty cool because it has so many steps, which makes it, I don't know, cooler. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do it again from here. 1. Wait. 1. I guess you don't have to step back. I guess you could just go like, step back. Boom. 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 Or you could go 1. Step again. Boom. 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 Alright, from here, step back, boom, hit. Arms down, boom, hit. Around, boom. Ooh, let's see. Neck, don't forget the neck. I forgot the neck. Set your arms. Get the knee and the neck out. Twist. Nice head roll. Boom. Boom. Alright. Let me just check if I'm clipping. If I say boom, boom, hey, pop, boom. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, my mic is looking good. My levels. Alright. So again, boom. Now when you hit, boom, I'm hitting boom from my chest, and I'm just kind of giving that just like a boom, boom. So I go boom, boom. Now notice that I'm not even popping my legs. Why am I not popping my legs? Let me see. Step, I'm gonna try popping my legs. Boom. Boom. Oop, I didn't use my legs. Boom. I'm so used to not using my legs because back in the day when I was popping, practicing my leg hits, my Fresno, boom, pot, boom, pot, I was hitting my knees too much, and I was hitting primarily my right knee. If you'll notice, a lot of poppers, they do love their leg hits because it shakes the whole body, right? But they are kind of like right-handed, but you're right-legged. Or usually I see people doing the right knee too much. So when they're like popping, boom, 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 they'll overutilize their right leg, and really, if you're hitting from here, it should really be even, right? Boom, boom, boom. So maybe a thing that will help you avoid injury is not to focus so much on the snapback and slam your joint, your knee joints to the hyperextension, right? see how our armpit is muscular, right? We're not going like boom, boom, ow. No, that didn't hurt, but it would hurt. That's weird. That's weird. Boom, pot. So similarly, you can maybe try to incorporate some of this muscle hit. So that you don't mess up your knees, which you will regret in your old age. My teacher Earthquake from the LA bopping crew, he actually popped so hard. He said he was at a wedding that he dislocated his knee. Ouch. Alright, so anywho, let's get back to the twist of flex, and we're gonna go step back, arms up, boom. Arms down to the waist, boom. Raise, boom. Hit, accentuate, knee and neck, boom. Twist, rotate your head real nice. Again, arms, raise your shoulders too, set, knees out and neck. Let's hit this. This is a weird pose to hit, but you gotta hit everything, right? Boom. Okay, so from here, we're going neck and leg out, and we twist, right? Now I have to make sure from here, that my head is ready to turn. So if you are like this, and you go like this, and then you twist, my head is too far down, and it's hard to turn my head. So I think I need to go boom, 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 boom. Just make sure that your head is from here. When you twist, maybe straighten it up a little. Boom. So that your head is ready to. Okay? I think that's gonna help. From the top. Boom. 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 Now, I stopped hitting my knees because just from what I did, I can already feel it. So it depends on how old you are, how good of a condition you're in, how good your knees are. Just adjust it, and if something hurts, then focus more on the stomach and your chest. Boom, boom, boom. Because actually, if you put your hand on your stomach and you do like a bopping style hit, boom, 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 you'll actually feel that your stomach is also popping. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Now another thing too is if you're not in good shape, or you're older, or you have a bad back, the bopping hit might make you sore. So always listen to your body, and maybe the most important thing is cleanness. So when I go step, you can just be clean to this position and just give it a nice and you don't have to worry about going boom, boom, bloom, 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 bloom. Okay? Maybe just be like tick, 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 real clean. Pow, tick, pow, pow, pow. Alright, and from here you can go. Alright. Yeah, I would do that, but my knee, I don't want to hurt my knees because sometimes you need knee pads for that. Like, okay. Speaking of which, I'm just gonna stretch my legs. I did about how many squats did I do? I think I did over 100 or so, maybe 120 or so body weight squats, just like this, quarantine style. And so my legs are like, oh yeah, this feels good. All right, and I like to do this and to feel my back, my spine doing kind of a bit of a lateral wave. All right, just get those, get your spine moving and mobile, loose, lubricated. All right, cool. A little shadow boxing. Some spinning back elbows. Bam. Scorpion elbow. Knees. Kicks. Back kicks. Alrighty then. Get that shoulder going in the chest. This one will really open up your chest, which is something that we boppers drill. We work on it. So remember, the bop is centered around here. Okay, so I'll kind of give you a 3/4 view, and let's do some breathing bops. Breathing bops just go to 100% expansion. So you're really stretching. You feel all the cartilage and connective tissue stretching, and I'm being sneaky. I'm actually pressing on my hands, even though it may not seem like it. It might just seem like I'm just hands at my sides, right? But I'm actually gently pressing, mostly with my palm, the base of my palms, to kind of give it a base from which to push here. Well, I guess you would call it hyper. Not hyper in the sense of injuring yourself. That's a theme I'm going to harp on a lot, because as a dancer, you will injure yourself. It's like if you play basketball. Like, I played basketball for many, many years, and it's like, it's not a matter of if you get injured, it's a matter of when you get injured. So, like, one time I got elbowed in the face, and it opened up like almost an inch cut right here. It just went boom, and the blood started leaking. Long story, but basically I just used a butterfly bandage to shut it, so I have a little scar right here. I've kind of, somebody landed on my knee and kind of hyperextended it, so it was clicking for like a year. Nothing crazy, but it was clicking, and then it just healed and went away after that. I got plantar fasciitis. There's like, like in chicken breast, there's like that sheath of white, thin white connective tissue on top. That's called fascia. And so I played basketball one day without warming up. It was pretty cold. And I just did a normal cut. I just went boop. I just switched direction real quick, and I felt a little pop under my foot. Ooh, that was bad. That was bad. It took over a year to heal. So what happened was, it kind of healed, right? But whenever I would stand, and I was teaching a lot at the time, so I was standing a lot, it would start to ache, a dull, painful pain, and it didn't get better. So finally one day, sorry, I'm getting on a tangent here, but just want to tell you about injuries. So what happened was, it was bothering me so much that after a while I was like, okay, I think I need to put zero pressure on it. So on my own volition, I went and got crutches and I decided to act like I had, like a broken foot or leg. So I put no weight on it for a good, I'd say 4 to 6 weeks. And then I decided to start rehabbing it. And thank God, it worked. It did the trick. It allowed the tissues to heal, but I had to really get that scar tissue. Um, I had to knead it out with a golf ball. So I got a hard golf ball and just pretty much rolled it all around on my foot, putting pressure on it. It felt so good. And I did that for months afterwards. Yeah, weeks and months. Less and less as it got better and better. But what that did was it kind of ground out that scar tissue and made it more like normal fascia. So right now my feet feel great, although sometimes I will feel a little ache, especially on my right fascia. I think that's the foot where I had the injury. And so I'll just get that golf ball and knead out the bottom of my feet. If you know the baseball player Ichiro Suzuki, one of the greatest hitters of MLB history, I believe, even though he came to the American Baseball League pretty late in his career, right in his prime, I guess. He's funny because he would have this wooden kind of dowel, giant dowel type of thing. Anyway, the end of it looked like the golf ball. So the tip of that wood was like a golf ball, and he was constantly kneading his feet. Constantly. It was kind of funny, like in between innings or like before and after games and stuff. So he must have had a fascia injury, plantar fasciitis, because that's really smart. Because once your feet are all nice and limber and strong and flexible, then you won't get any of those feet injuries of that particular kind. All right, so I feel like I had another injury. Yes. All right, last injury story. I was playing basketball in Torrance, Southern California, same place that I got my plantar fasciitis. And this guy and I were going at it, and for some reason he got really angry at me. I was probably like, doing pretty well against him, I believe. But anyway, he got angry at me, and there was a loose. He had the ball, and I put my palm on it, and it kind of went like this, but it didn't jar the ball loose from him, so he still had it with both hands, and he just wrenched it really hard to get it away from my hand, and my hand was still on it, and he wrenched my shoulder out of the socket. I believe it was this arm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was my right shoulder. So it dislocated, it just popped out, and I was like, oh my gosh, and he was like, oh snap, when he realized what happened. So this was when 4G phones first came out. I still remember I had the first 4G phone. It from HTC. It literally, the battery like died in like 3 hours because it just wasn't ready for 4G, the intensity of it. So I went on YouTube. I didn't want to go to the hospital, right? I wanted to, and like maybe have some giant emergency bill. So I looked up on YouTube how to how to fix or pop a dislocated shoulder back into place, and I found like a decent video, or maybe it was a website, and I was like, oh, and it was like out of the joint. It's weird because you see the bone, then you see a depression, and then you see your shoulder bone, and I saw the directions. I read them. I was like, and we were like under a tree by this time, next to the corner. I was like, okay, hey, can you pull my arm? Can you pull my arm, like, not yank it, but just start pulling on it? And then he started pulling on it, and it was like a little harder, and then just suddenly it just went and just popped right back into place, and I was just like, oh, I can, okay. And ever since then, it's been good. No problems, no issues, no problems with range of movement, thank God. Boom. And so, yeah, that was crazy because there were no ligament or whatever tendon injuries. It was all good. Anyway, the point is, if you feel anything or if you're not in condition, Make sure that you're stretching, make sure that you're jogging, walking, dancing. You got to be in good condition because dancing is a sport. It's athletic. All right. So what I wanted to do today. So we went over the twisto flex. 1, 2. Wait. 2. What am I doing? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Step forward. 8. All right. I guess we can do some waving. Last time I went over some waving. So, just to warm up, I would just suggest that. Kind of do this motion. So you really have to be comfortable with this kind of wave. And really it's all coming from the shoulders. Okay, and the rest comes from, is activated by the shoulder. Now do remember that when you wave, your elbows dictate your level of waving skill. Okay, everyone knows how, well, most people know how to do their fingers, right? Our fingers are so mobile, right? So you should be able to be very liquidy with your fingers. All right, notice my elbow, up and down. All right, and then when the wave is coming in, your fingers should really be mobile. All right. All right. And do notice where your thumb is, because if your thumb is like this, it doesn't look so good, right? I tend to keep it like this, because to me this looks weird. I tend to keep it like this. All right. Now remember, your shoulders are super mobile. So make sure that your shoulders can really pop up and down. All right? Of course, some people have very mobile shoulders. Others have less mobile shoulders. But just practice that mobility and the amplitude. And you can actually practice drawing circles with your shoulder. So here I'm going out, back to the original, out, front, back. All right? Now I don't do that enough, but if you do it a lot, your shoulders are going to be crazy. They're going to be so mobile. So let's try it with this one. Front. Yeah. Back. Front. Back. Front. Back. All right. And really your shoulders can come forward. They can come up. I guess I can come back too. Back, 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 up, forward, home, forward, back, back, home, forward, I'm sorry, back, up, forward, home, forward, back, home. All right, cool. All right, so a little bit of that, and then what should we do? Let's do a little waving a little bit of waving practice. So remember, arms straight out, and we go 1, 2, 3, twist, shoulder, chest, shoulder, chest is optional, elbow, wrist, knuckle, fingers, out. Other way, knuckles, finger, wrist, twist, elbow, shoulders up, chest, shoulder, elbow, wrist, knuckle, finger, out. Alright, a little faster now. Let's do a little tick up here. Tick, 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 tick. And if you want to do it, you can add that little what would I call it? It's almost like Iceman freezing, sort of. No, it's more like metal. Ding, ding, ding. Cling clang, cling clang. Let's call it a cling clang style hit. Cling, cling, cling clang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, out. Smooth it out. Okay. So yeah, I would just say, if you're a beginner, slow, clean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, I skipped the chest. That's fine. Sometimes you don't need the chest. It's up to you if you want it. Here's with the chest. Here's without it. Here's that was with it. Both of them were with it. Sorry. Here's with it. Here's with it. Here's without it. Whew. Yeah, you'll feel it in your shoulders. So let me know in the comments which one you prefer, which one visually you like better. If you want. I will review this video. Last time my practice was so long, it was an hour 40 minutes. I only got through about half of it, but it was alright because I got a lot of good stuff about what I need to improve, and always really it comes down to the same thing, the cleanliness of your form and technique. Always about that. So when you're doing your puppet, keep your shoulders down. Okay, I can't put it any more down than this because when your elbow comes up, your collarbone actually moves up. So, but this is good, right? Okay, before I was doing a little bit like this, so it was decent, but you gotta really go bam. All right. Okay, might as well go to the body wave. The body wave. So we'll start tracing with our hands. So let me just start like this. Boom, 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 pop, 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 pop. So those are chest bops. Pop, pop. Now when I go here, I can actually transition to a wave, and just remember that your wave, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so that's fun because that's like an infinite body wave. I can be like, can just keep practicing this wave. Alright, here I'm doing like an infinite arm tracing wave. I can stop it too from here. Some people do this. Pretty funky. And then you can transition to the cobra. Okay. The cobra's cool because it's actually a really good stretching of the spine. And then what you do one way, it's good practice to do the other way. Now what you're working on is getting that amplitude. So it's just like the chest bop. I'm going boom. I really can't go much more than this physically. Boom. This is my max. Boom. Can't really go much more than this. Boom. Definitely can't go much more than this. Alright, so I'm gonna turn down my heat. I'm in New York City and I have my heater on and I am exercising hard, so I'm gonna turn that off, crack my window open. Okay. Alright. So now, in terms of the body wave, let me think if I could do something like this. Sometimes you can like put like a bar. See if I can like here's the wave, right? Here's the wave. Like you can lead with your head. Something like that. Oh yeah, my neck. Felt that one. Gotta loosen it up a little. Okay, so I find that a little hard to do. So from the body wave, you can start with your feet and to the hips. From the hips to the belly. From the belly to the chest. From the chest to the head and out. Head, chest, belly, hips, knee, out, knee, hips, belly, chest, head, out. And often actually, when the wave comes here, the shoulders pop forward So we go from the knee to the hip, belly, chest, shoulders forward, elbows, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so doesn't really pop out the head. Yeah, usually it pops out the arms. The head is great though for, let's see, I know Poppin' Taco did it so nice. He was like, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom. Oh yeah, he did it something like this. He was in a hotel room when I saw on a YouTube video when he did this. He kind of like led with his head and let the wave come down his body. Boom. Yeah, something. Then he did like a single leg boogaloo roll. He was like, I forget what he was doing. He was, he likes to come out of this. Fresno. Something like that. I forget what else he did after that. It was like boom, 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 boom. Forget. But anyway, that's a cool move. Pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop. The good old boogaloo side step. Walk out. I think that's the walkout. Boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom. Okay. What else shall we do? Well, I'm gonna throw on a little Ableton Live, a little mix I made. Let's make sure it's not too loud. Okay, that's a little loud on my end here. Okay, let me adjust my levels. I think this is gonna be good. Last time I had the music too loud and my voice was too soft, so I'm gonna bring down the music a little bit. Alright. Yeah, this is a beat I made on Ableton Live, cause I sometimes freestyle. Eternally, yeah, it's been a little while since I rapped on the mic. Freestyle, you know I like to rap off the top of the dome. Yes sir, I'm just chilling in my home. 408 West 57th Street, not gonna name the APT so you don't bug me. Hee hee, aha to the check one. Eternal B coming through, yes son, huh? You're not my son, I don't have any children, so what's up, huh? I don't know, what just freestyle flow. This is how we do it, yes, yes, you know. Back in LA when I was with Earthquake, I had an Acura. What was that little car called? Let me think. What was that called? RSX. We used to jet around in my RSX. Had some beats, real cold, you see. Back then we cracked some beer and some weed, but I don't do the green no more. Cause I was on the bathroom floor. Vomited and puking, it's called hyperemesis, cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. You get on the oh man, I'm rusty. Alright, let's do some robot. Okay, this is what I learned from last time watching my video. I was hitting the wrong beats. Alright, so I want to go like. Alright, so, ooh, that's something I learned from Dre. What did he do? It was like, bop walk. Okay. Alright, I just landed on my receiver in the crook of my back. Eternally, I don't care, I just resume the attack. Yeah, my rhyme might be whack. I might get a lot of flack, but I get right back up and I keep on trucking. Even though I'm sucking on the mic, I just keep on trucking. Yes, sir. Eternal D, believe in the word. Yes, sir. Alright, cool. So, anywho, let's see what else. Let's just practice stopping. All right. Ooh, let's see. I guess one thing I haven't gone over yet is gliding. Let's pause this for a sec. Okay. So, let's go over gliding. I haven't gone over gliding. Gliding, I recommend you start in this position with your feet out at maybe a little more than 45 degrees so that you'll see why. Now what you want to get good at doing is just a simple pivot, double pivot, simultaneous pivot. So you'll be pivoting on your, I'm going to my left, you'll be pivoting on your right heel and on your left toe, okay? Only you'll be doing it at the same time like this, okay? Going back, start position, like ballet, almost like, what do they call it? The plie, I guess. You don't need to go that much, it's hard to keep your balance anyway. So, maybe, now that I think about it, a little more than 45 open, okay? And you just do this, okay? Now your feet are inward and your knees are almost touching, okay? And you just, this is the hard part that people have. You know how you pivoted on your heel last time on your right foot? You're going to pivot on your toe. You know how you pivot on your toe last time on your left foot? You're going to pivot on your heel, okay? So you're going to open it up like so, okay? Now you're back at your start position and you simply learn to repeat it. 1, close, open. So you're traveling this way. Alright, so you might have seen people be doing this dance. It's the exact same thing, only the people who are doing that are not continuing the direction, but they're going back. Let me put a little more baby powder. The secret weapon of house dancers worldwide. House dance. Maybe I'll do a little bit of house dancing today. Yeah. I love to teach house dance. Alright. So, feet open. Generally speaking, the rest of your body we'll talk about later, but we'll go boom. Okay. Again, you're rotating on your heel of your right foot, the ball of your left foot, but you're doing it, and usually you will bend. Okay, oh, that's a sneak preview of what's to come. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, moving on. Remember our feet were at 60-ish degrees, maybe 50? Well, put a little more space between your heel. Now why do I say that? Because you're gonna rotate on this toe just like we did before, right? Except lift the heel, rotate on the toe, and you're gonna kind of bend and prep and slide. Okay, one more time. Feet open, some space between your feet for more distance covered. You're gonna lift and get on your left toe, and while you're turning, you're gonna slide. Okay, now I don't know if you can see my feet, but my right heel is sort of like this. Okay, this is my right foot. My left toes are kind of right at my right heel. Okay, so it's going like this. Remember, lift and start pivoting, and while you're pivoting, slide. So this is, ignore the left foot for now, it's just like sliding. That's the illusion. Your flat foot sliding on the ground gives a nice illusion. Okay, so when you see a flat foot sliding, that's a huge part of the illusion, because you don't expect a flat foot to be frictionless, right? okay? So that's the typical Michael Jackson backslide. I'll call it the MJ backslide, even though it's older than him. He did perfect it and bring it to the masses after all. So what we're learning is the side slide, which is this illusion going sideways, okay? So again, lift your heel, and let's do it smoothly. While you're pivoting, you bring your foot across, okay? Now from here, these are my feet. I'm gonna go down my toe, and notice my heel's high up. I'm on my toes. Now I like to be on my toes as much as possible because it gives it that when you mix it with the foot sliding on the floor, it gives you a very nice illusion. Okay, again, lift, pivot, slide. Okay, from here we open up. Okay, from here, this is very hard for some people. From here, we're gonna open up. I'm gonna reverse it. So this is a very awkward position. You know, your feet is at 45 to 45. It's at a 90-degree angle, but it's, you know, kind of like this, right? Which we practiced. Only your heel is touching your toe. Okay, so we're gonna go left foot, and as you pivot, you slide. Now really you wanna give it some body English, right? Give it that, right? Don't give it that, right? You gotta give it that fake, you know, that fake gliding grace. So that means that you have to control the speed, and the friction of your foot against the ground actually helps give you a stable, constant speed. So your foot should be having a nice, stable, constant speed, if possible. So when you glide, you're trying to give it that nice. So I have some bad shoes on for gliding, but I've been gliding so much I don't care. What really helps with gliding sometimes is our shoes with a strong toe cage, I guess you might call it, so that you can really get on your toes. These are very soft, like running shoes or walking shoes. However, you can still do it if you know how to put all your weight on your toes without that support. So if you have Timberlands, ironically, Timberlands, the sole doesn't look like it'd be good for sliding, but because it has such a strong toe cage, you can really look like you're on your toes. But again, if you're good enough and you practice, you'll be pretty good at standing on your toes and balancing on your toes. Just don't hurt yourself. Okay, moving on. Get on your toe on your left, pivot and slide. Open it up. Now this is the hardest part. Put all your weight here, 90%, slide. Okay? You'll probably find that that's pretty tough. On your toes, pivot and slide. Okay? Open it up. And remember this position. Look at how far my knee is, right? It's and all your weight is on here. 90% or so. Okay, so we were here. We open it up. Now the tough part is getting this to slide. Okay, so remember from here, we open it up. Most of your weight is on here. Okay, you're gonna just have to work on your feel and your conditioning. It takes conditioning, coordination, muscle memory to do this, to get this guy to slide. Okay, because here you're dragging, right? That's easier to slide. Here you're moving your foot out from your body, so you have to give it some extra focus. So here we go, let's put it all together. Feet nice and open. Raise your left heel, pivot it and slide. Open, and slide. Now you're just right back to the beginning, and you just rinse and repeat. Open and slide. Okay? Now just watch as I make my way down there. And notice especially how my difficult slide looks. Okay? So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that I think about it and do it, putting all your weight here helps you to slide the other leg. So you'll notice that your knees are doing a very interesting, like, almost like a pumping motion, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And notice that you can sell it with your shoulders, and it actually helps you with helps you glide. So when I go here, my head goes forward, 1, and then my head goes back. Okay, so I find that it actually really, to me at least, let me know what you think in the comments if you disagree, it helps the illusion to be going. And I'm going to try and do it covering as much ground as possible. So you can really focus on covering lots of ground. Okay? Boogaloo Shrimp did this. He went like so when he was over here, he kind of did a little trick, a little flip. So when he was here, he kind of threw in a little, like I think he had his hat too, he was like. So you can try that. I forget the guy's name, but the guy who danced to Pumped Up Kicks, Popper, very slim guy with basketball shoes. He pops with basketball shoes. He will actually, this foot, instead of bringing it flat, he'll actually start gliding on his toe. And I found that that's really illusionistic. So you can practice variations of gliding, such as those. Now, let's finish off this gliding thing. You can do, the backslide in place, right? And I think Dre does this, right? He goes. All right. I would need to. Oh, that's tiring. I would need to practice that a while before I feel comfortable doing that as a killer move. That's a crowd pleaser move. You can also slide forward. So instead of pushing back, toe, push back, high on your toe, push back with the other foot, you can actually bring your toe here and glide forward. Bring it here, glide forward. Alright, so what do I find this useful for? I just find it useful for a little bit of a illusionistic thing. If you don't want to travel, I don't know, maybe you're at the subway station and you're listening to some good music on your iPods and you just want to be like, give a little illusion. And of course, we can't forget the circle slide. Ooh, my toes are kind of sore now. Not in a bad way, but definitely feeling it. So if your toe hurts, give it a rest and then come back to it a little later or the next day or whatever. All right. The circle slide is the last one I'm going to go over. No, I'm going to teach you a house move after this that is actually very glidey. I'm going to teach you 2 house moves that are related. It's essentially gliding, but I learned it in a house dance context versus a popping or bopping context. Okay, circle slide. Circle slide, you know how in the side slide we went like this, right? Circle slide is very similar, except you go like this, okay? So my feet are like this. They're not like that. They're more like this. On its toe, on my toe, and the other foot is like that. And you actually slide this out. Now the slide is kind of cool because you're not just sliding back, you're sliding back and opening your hips. Why? Because you're going to then switch to this toe and you're going to slide. Okay? Now you're going to be on this toe and you're going to slide back. I'm cheating here, haha. And open up your hip. Okay? So your foot is now open. And then we transfer the weight, right? And we're just repeating. Okay? Now I do enjoy going counterclockwise. Okay, so we're gonna go. Now notice that I'm always expressive with my shoulders and neck. Okay, sometimes you're doing this. Sometimes you're craning. Sometimes you're doing this weird thing. Sometimes you're craning. Okay, so let's go. 1. So I lean. And then I smoothly turn this guy. And then I go leaning this way. And then I'm leaning this way while turning my lower body. And then I'm leaning this way, turning, leaning this way, turning, leaning this way, turning. Okay? And in full speed. All right? Circle slide. Now, what do I keep saying? What you do one way, you should practice the other. So I'm going to take my own advice and try this. I'm going to go. It's a lot harder for me this way. But if you keep practicing, it'll become just as strong as your strong side. Whew. So, if you ever have, I'm going to take a seat here, questions about how to use your head and shoulders, look at Michael Jackson. He's a master of that. All right, cool. Now, after I learned popping, and then I learned bopping, I finally got house music. I don't know why it took me so long, but there was some old CDs I had that were not good house music, and so I never really liked house music. But then one day it all clicked, and I was like, oh yeah, house music is dope. So I took private lessons from a girl named, a woman named Emiko Sugiyama out in LA. And she told me that she spent time in New York City. She's originally from Japan. She, I think, was originally a B girl, but she spent time in New York City, and went to the club like almost every day, almost every day or every day, and was just dancing house. So she got super good at house dancing. That's where I learned a lot of the things that I know from, and then of course from videos, Khalif, Ejo, that whole shoot, I forgot the name of the Brooklyn Terry, Marjorie, rest in peace. What are they called? Khalif, something. Anyway, there's a house dance collective, tons of famous OGs. I would call them like maybe the core. Buddha Stretch, who does everything: hip hop, popping, locking, and house dancing, and probably a whole assortment of other dances. So I'll teach you a move called the lotus. Okay, so with the lotus, let's focus on the lower body first. You're gonna actually kick your leg out. Now when you kick your leg out, so you're gonna kind of step, 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 but you're gonna kick your leg out, okay? So you're gonna step, step. So what am I doing? I'm lifting this foot and bouncing on the other leg. But when you bounce, you kick this leg out, and watch the hips. They're gonna open and close, open and close. And it's gonna help you a ton by looking at your feet, because when you kick, your feet, toes point out, and when you bring it in like a U-turn, your toes point in, okay? So you're gonna boom, boom. Now I'm only doing the right side. You actually do it with the left side. So I'm gonna go boom, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with my other foot. So I'm gonna go boom, 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 boom. Let me get some more of my secret weapon here. CVS baby powder. I don't think this causes cancer, right? Like Johnson & Johnson talcum. Baby powder did. They got sued. I think they had to pay a lot of money. This one's like cornstarch and like tricalcium phosphate, aloe, leaf extract, vitamin E, acetate, and fragrance. Okay. If it had talc, which is I believe a mineral, it causes cancer. We don't want cancer here. Alright. Anywho, back to the bottom, you're gonna remember? But you're gonna kick your leg out. It's almost like kicking a little bit. I'm gonna do it in slow motion. Okay, so let's do a little faster. It kind of helps to actually practice one leg at a time. I think it's nice to really open your hips up. Now, if you notice, let's talk about the upper body. Now, I'm not a pro at the lotus by any means, so definitely look it up online. I really enjoy the way Tony McGregor does the lotus. He gives a lot of shoulder. And Khalif does a real nice lotus, and of course Emiko does a dope lotus. So anyway, just find your own style, but the basics, I'm actually finding that kind of going on the side of my foot. Gives a nice feeling. Definitely pointing your toes. Now, of course, house dancers, they love to throw in variations on top of simple moves. So a super classic variation is to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So it's kind of like when you're doing like the classic house dance, doubling up. So this is a very classic house dance step, foundational. Well, I guess all of them are foundation, but 1, and I'm gonna double up. 1, 2, 3, 4, double up. Of course you can triple, quadruple, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Almost like a stutter step. Okay, now I find myself doing kind of this. I don't know, just feels very graceful. And look at my shoulders, they're kind of as Tony McGregor did it. It's almost like a contrary motion. Alright, I can already see that. I have a mirror here, IKEA for the win. And I can already see that my lotus is getting a little better from the mirror. I think there's a lot to be said about flaring your knees open. And remember, in dance, your hips have to be very mobile. So what Amiko taught me was this exercise. Just get on your toe, and like a washing machine, she said, this will get your abs real good, which I need. Okay, so get your hips moving, and then you can go on your heels. Don't forget to breathe. Okay. Whew. All right. Oh, okay, that's good. So, let's see. We did the lotus, and the reason I call that a kind of a slide is because this foot is sliding. Oh yeah, don't forget Mr. Wiggles. Mr. Wiggles, the famous Mr. Wiggles. He did kind of a toy glide, kind of like a puppet glide, with the classic puppet arms. You can break your neck. Now the feet are pretty interesting. Okay, your feet are going like this. Actually, it's like a continuation of the lotus. So if I continue the lotus across and then came back, that's what Wiggles is doing. So he's going 1 across, 2 across, while the back foot is going like this. So it's going like this. As the foot is coming across, the back foot is going like, and then the back foot is going like. Okay. So you have to draw 1, 2. It's just like the lotus, but it's like if you were to continue it, okay? So you're not kicking out, you're going in a curve. In, while this back foot is going. I'm just doing it in place now. Okay? So you're gonna go from here, you're gonna go boom. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Break your neck. Okay. Let's slow it down a little. Let me do it from the side. 3/4. Pop it. Break your neck. Okay, from the side. Pop. Let's do it. Pop it and break your neck at the same time. Flop your wrists. Almost hit my weight bench. So again, I always start with my right foot. Draw that while doing this. Okay? 1. Now from here, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's really cool. I don't know how Mr. Wiggles thought of that. Okay. So, another thing that would be really cool is if you did the Michael Jackson style backslide, but you do the insane speed control that he did. So he went like, right? He went real slow, and he snapped. He went like, okay, so he went from slow to accelerating. So practice that. Okay. Now the last glide that I want to teach is another house glide, and it's called skating. The style is called skating. Brian Green, shout out to Brian Green. I bought his video. He teaches you how to skate. Go to, Google Brian Green house dance. He sells lessons. He's one of the greatest house dancers. And basically you're gonna go like boom, like this, boom, like this, boom, this, boom, like this, boom. And Amico taught me this too. Boom, that. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are kind of prepping with a knee up, and we're kind of, the feeling is down and like that. I guess it's almost like the Thriller thing. Okay, now there are a couple ways to glide your advanced foot. You can go heels first, in which case your leg is straight, right? Another way to do it is toe first. Whoa. These shoes are really soft, and I have cushion soles in them, so they're really great for comfort and bouncing. Not so good for balance, but they're good. One toe first. One toe first. One toe first. One. Fake it. One toe first. One heel first. One. Fake it. One toe. One toe first. One toe first. Oop, heel first. Toe first. One toe first. One toe first. Okay, so I'm still learning the skating style, but that's kind of the basics, and you can put your own flavor on it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you could just fake it. You can be like, knee up, slide, faked you out, slide, 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 for real, slide, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real, slide. And Brian Green taught this slide. Okay, and then some crazy like moving in a whole circle with like moves moving you around. It was very difficult. I gotta slow the video down and learn him. Okay, now one last thing I guess that helps you with the feeling of the slide skating to me is this kind of I would call it the Jack in the Box. It's all about moving on your heels and kind of opening up your legs and hips and body. Okay, now with house, a lot of the groove that I learned from Amiko is you bend like that, and then you bring it up from the floor. Okay, so you're gonna bend at the waist and bring it up in a body wave almost like that. So you're gonna go doom tats, doom tats, doom tats, boom, boom, and sometimes house dancers will like put their hands on their belt. They call that jacking. Okay, so that's like one of the core flavors of house is like so when you're doing this classic house step, you actually want to, when your heel comes down, you want to bend. You don't want to be like this. Okay. Let's see, what else? I mean, there's many more house steps, but the most important thing I would say to take away is get that feeling of jacking. Down, body wave, down, body wave up, down, 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 body wave, boom. And you can actually step with it. You can be like, okay, I just find that it's super funky. All right. So the train is also kind of like so that's the last glide. Yeah. The train, I'm not so good at it, but train. And then the variation would be, so the train just is like almost like a slide, but you're giving it kind of a bent knee flavor, and you're kind of like, and putting your hips into it. That would be the variation, would be like, so train, 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 tuck, tuck, train, train, tuck, tuck, train, train, tuck, tuck, train, train, tuck, tuck, train, train. And then from the train, you can come up, get the skate going. So I guess you could be like 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then go right into the train. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is that house is very mobile, and house is really into spinning. So any move that you do, you should practice spinning with it. And throw in those variations, and then learn to link up the moves. Spin 90 degrees, 180. Now this one's a cool one. Do it one more time. So that one you're spinning like spin, 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 spin on this axis. I should do it the other way too. That's pretty awkward. Very glidey.